Gun violence.
Okay, this is a very deep one for me because I don't like guns at all.
Really?
I don't know. I don't own a gun, never have. I don't know if I'll ever get one for protective reasons, but I don't like guns because I just feel like what they represent is nothing but violence. In our communities, so many people are being killed by not only the police, but we're killing each other.
Yeah.
They're being used for all the wrong reasons. And I feel like there has to be a better way. I mean, I'm not saying if you need a gun for protection that you shouldn't have one, but obviously if you have it and you're just out here trying to hurt people, harm yourself, then you shouldn't have it.
To what extent, when you say protection, who are you protecting yourself from?
I mean, you have like the KKK, you have white supremacists, you have like gangsters, you have thugs. You're always gonna need protection from somebody. I agree. This is one of the few times I will agree with this man right here. Okay, I do not like guns. I think, you know, if somebody wants to sell a situation, like use your hands, use your fists. It's, you know, you can fight and then move on. But I do get the point of like guns are needed, not because, again, I don't like it, but you should have a gun by your side. You never know when some dude is gonna be like, oh, you a nigga or something like that and try to shoot you. Like, at least have the protection, you know what I mean? That's why I say at least somebody should learn how to like throw a punch and all that. Not because I want you to be violent, but you don't, like, a lot of people out here like hate black people, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna come your way. It's gonna come your way.
So you're saying if somebody should get the knowledge, education, and the skill at least to learn how to use your hands, and then, because I can agree but disagree too about the whole liking of guns and things like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm neutral. But if you, let's say, have the education in the back and you say, you know what, I first learned how to do combat and use my hands to defend myself, maybe to disarm you, versus picking up a weapon to harm you in that aspect. I can do something like that because
as a gun owner, like I own guns, but I don't enjoy them at all. I do it because of pure protection. Now, just because, and I am a boxer, I box, I kickbox and all of that, but a normal human being from the street, he has a gun, he can just pull it one time. He doesn't have to have any skill set at all. And I do agree when people say like, people should get trained. People should know weapons. Like, don't just give somebody a gun, because that is, for me, again, I don't like guns. I come from a country with war and all that, so I'm not a fan of it, but people should definitely know how to use them, because you're gonna run into bad people out there. You're going to. It's not if, it's when.
You know what I find extremely sad is that we live in a day and age where people, they'll get mad at you and the first thing they say is, I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna pull up on you and I'm gonna get you. And I'm just like, has it really come to that? Has it come to a point and place where we can't sit down and resolve the issue amicably, where we can talk about, hey, I didn't like this or I didn't like that, but instead I do one little thing, or I might look at you the wrong way, and the first thing that you're gonna say to me is that I'm ready to get a gun to come and shoot you and kill you or whatever. Like, what have we come to? Like, what has the world become? Because to me, I'm just like, I don't even want, like, if I don't know you, and sometimes even if I do know you, I gotta watch what I say and how I say it. Because you might take it offensively and be like, let me pull my 9 out. Or my AK or whatever. And I'm sitting there like, that's crazy to me. I've had people say, I'm gonna pull up on you at your house and get you. And I'm like, you wanna do all of that? You don't even, your maturity level is not even at a point where you can sit there and say, let's just have a conversation and figure out how to resolve it. Because I understand, especially in the black community, if we say those things, then, oh, I'm a bitch. Or I'm weak, or I'm a sucker, and I ain't going out like that. Nah, it's either pop. And I'm like, no. A strong person, a mature person, a grown adult, the first thing they're gonna do is say, well, can we have a conversation?
Not every time. Because you may have someone who is like, all right, I'm a mature adult, I want to have a conversation, but because we are human, sometimes our emotions do get the best of us. Now, I'm not saying the emotions take you to the point where I'm gonna pull out a gun, but if I'm so emotionally involved and I'm just so frustrated with a situation, and I have someone who has threatened me or has gotten in my way at some point, and I feel as though this is the only means, then okay, I'm going to do what's the only means if I have to, because for me it might be life or death, and I gotta do what I gotta do. So as a mature adult, I can sit down and have a conversation with you. But how many conversations am I going to have if you are someone who is threatening my life? And you've shown me what you're capable of.
Well, if it's a continuous thing where you're constantly threatening me, or the first thing you say when you disagree or dislike anything that's going on, that I'm gonna pull a gun out and shoot you to harm you, then we don't. At that point, I don't want to have a conversation with you. I just prefer for you to leave me alone. Period. Because we're not even on the same page. Because I'm not thinking like that. If I get upset or get attitude, I'm not going to threaten your life.
Right.
That's just, I mean, that's unnecessary.
You have, like you just said, you have some folks who do. That's the first thing they go to. Like, oh, well, I'm gonna end it. Like, oh, you messing with my girl, you messing with my guy, you messing with, I'm gonna tear you up. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kill you. But that's just the mindset. But I know, Brandon, we started off
It's
going, but like, what do you think?
It feels like really it's been a all encompassed into this this illusion of guns making someone cooler, or just the feeling of power. A lot of it I think of and like in a psychological aspect of the fact that, I don't know, it seems like a lot of people with anger issues who do own weapons have kind of realized their mortality. They kind of realize the fact that as a human, humans are fragile and easily vulnerable, and no one wants to get taken advantage of or monopolized on by someone who comes along and feels that they're stronger than them. Like, oh, I have control of you, I got power over you because I'm stronger than you. So if it comes down to a person having their livelihood threatened, or their loved ones or something valuable to them, someone comes and like, I'll take that away from you, and someone's like, no, you won't. Pow.
Do you think, I know that you mentioned off camera that you were formerly in the military.
Yeah.
Do you believe that guns should be banned? And if so, why?
It's a split decision with me on that. Yes and no at the same time. Because I'm like, that will be a step in the right direction. But with humans being humans and how times have evolved, people are just going to find another means to kill each other with. So if it's not guns, it'll be blades. If it's not blades, it'll be rocks. If it's not rocks, they'll probably just create something, unfortunately. And being a soldier before, it's, I learned a lot. Actually, my first time in the military, I knew nothing about guns. I never held a gun. All I really knew was how to shoot them in video games. But then there came a time where after I got all the training, that's all they drill into your head. 2 shots, center mass, 1 in the head. And the training drills just got so repetitive and so muscle memory that it came to a point where if someone pointed a gun at me, I can take the whole gun apart in like 3 seconds in their hands. Like, every day during basic training, it was, here's your rifle. There was a set time where you clean your rifle, where you break it down, you take out the pin, you take out the bolt, you clean the carbon out with the wire brushes, you make sure that there's nothing in the chamber. And even after firing exercises at the range, you would be in deep shit if you even thought about leaving the range with a blank round, or if at all for any reason your weapon with a muzzle with no magazine fired off. If a drill sergeant heard the click, that was your ass. Just for the discipline. The training is like, don't leave. And I don't know. From experience, I can see why people can get addicted to that kind of power, because when I don't know what it was, but when I started using the rifles, I was good at it. And it was scary, because I was like, this is the type of stuff and that people will go out and kill people with.
How do you think that these guns are getting into our communities? Because now it's like we're worried about police brutalities and getting killed by the police, and now we got to worry about if we're gonna get killed by our own, pretty much. So it's like we're not safe from either situation. So how do you think that these are getting into our communities?
Well, it's a lot of it is black market and gun smuggling from various different sources. People have hookups or connections, and a lot of gun store owners are really just, I guess, patriotic in the sense that if you need a gun, come to my shop. I give you a gun, like pay for it, get the paperwork. It's all too easy to get a firearm.
Do you think that they should? I mean, and I know that they do take the necessary precautions before allowing or they used to before allowing someone to buy guns. But too many times that we've seen people on TV who suffer from mental issues, and they'll have a gun and they'll get upset and just go and randomly kill like a school full of people or a mall full of people. Do you think that it should be extremely difficult to get a gun, or they need to investigate a little bit more thoroughly than they have in the past before allowing someone to purchase a gun?
That's yes. If for firearm purchases, I think there'll be like better results if everyone who wanted to own a firearm had to go through some sort of psych eval.
But some people do, and they pass them.
Yeah.
And then not everybody, but those be the ones that they got in the legal way, and then they shooting up churches and schools.
Yeah.
So it's like I understand where you're coming from, but it's like you can pass a psychological test, but that doesn't mean that you completely have it together.
So then you're going into mental health then, if you think about that, because you're saying that the guns are the source of power.
Yes.
They're that source of power for some people, but if these people are already mentally unstable, you shouldn't blame the weapon because it's really just a tool. It's just a tool. That person is already unstable, so no matter if they have a knife, a gun, a book, or a rock, they're going to do what they're going to do.
But do you think that these companies or agencies that are handing them out aren't doing their jobs in terms of investigating the person?
If these folks are clearly passing, then no. There needs to be some type of different, maybe the curriculum needs to change or whatever the study is. Maybe that's something that needs to be looked at or changed by someone, of a higher stature to say, all right, well, we have this group of folks whom passed the test clearly because they must have been highly intelligent or they were good at cunning, whatever it was. They passed and, they still put a lot of lives at risk, So maybe the test is something that could be changed, or the criteria. Maybe they need to, I don't know, run a credit score. Who knows? I don't know. But something, something
They need to do something different.
Yeah, something different, and I don't know all the rules, but just something different that could say, all right, and judge the character.
If you take away the guns, right? England did that. They have a what problem now? Stabbing problem. Middle East don't have a lot of guns. They have a bombing problem. So it doesn't matter if you take, it's just a tool. Human, just like it's cookout. If they couldn't, and their mindset, if they couldn't kill him by a shootout, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna wait for him, right? They're gonna drag him in the corner. They're gonna stab him, or they're gonna kill him. So it's just the mindset. I don't think it's a tool.
It's the tool. It's a tool. Whatever, like Brandon was saying, once you take away the tools, we're gonna find other devices to hurt each other.
Talk about the police brutalities and the injustices.
Yeah.
That affect us black people, and we're killing each other. And don't get me wrong, it's all wrong. I don't support police brutalities at all.
Of course.
But what I'm saying is, we got people out here marching and fighting for the Black Lives Matter, and some of these people, let's keep it real, some of these people will turn around and shoot their own. So my thing is, it's like that makes you a hypocrite because you're, and one hand you're advocating for change, but in the other hand you are part of the problem.
But you take away the guns, right, from black people. You can't take away guns from police.
You can't.
So if you take away the guns, it only affects one group of people. That's us. The police will still have that gun. You see my point?
I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
they will still have that gun.
When I say take them away, I'm just saying I feel like it's
make it
gotten
harder.
to a point. Make it harder to get, because it's gotten to a point where they're being used for all of the wrong reasons. And now self-defense, I understand. Somebody trying to break in your house and you got to protect yourself. I'm all for that, but to just pick a gun up because I want to go rob somebody or I'm pissed at somebody and
that starts at home in your neighborhood, though.
Yeah.
So we're not able to, or we shouldn't be able to march, to protest, to say Black Lives Matter and that we want equality in our communities if all we're going to do is rob, steal, kill, and do these things to our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our cousins. It doesn't make sense. It's like, what are we really fighting for? Are we fighting against ourselves?
But that's a slippery slope, though.
Or is it a fad? Like we said a while back, are you just doing it for the attention?
It could be. It could be attention.
And then
could
we're
be
not talking about everybody, because I want to be clear and say everybody is not in that category.
Right.
But there are people that are advocating in one hand,
And
but then in the other
Right.
hand, you're being a hypocrite. And I'm just.
But see, that's
But
other
most-
people's upbringing as
Yeah.
well. It could be your upbringing as to why these people don't know how to properly address a situation. All they
Definitely
can
true.
come to
Yeah.
first is violence. That's all that may be all they know, because that's all they have in their community. Not saying it's good or bad, but there's something that could be done in that community. There are a lot of programs that are in place in cities in different states to help African Americans in our community.
Yeah.
Although we are suppressed, there are things to help us. But you have people sometimes who don't understand, like younger guys, and that's what it is a lot younger, older. You have people who just don't understand, and that's what their mindset is like, oh, well, I got a problem, I'm used to laying hands. Instead
Yeah.
of somebody like, I have a problem, let me talk it out. So you have two different sides of the playing field.
yeah, but you have to put it this way too. Like all of this, like gun violence and all of that, like you do know, like it's not coming from mostly us. It's coming from the white communities. Like, if you look at it, most school
No,
shootings and all that,
that-
and then
that-
when we kill like one person, they put it out in the media. So in terms of like that, and if you put laws on these things, who do you think is going to use it against? The white community
Going
or
off
us?
I mean, I agree with you.
We're
but
going, yeah, that's my point.
I guess I'm speaking up from the perspective of being a black
Black
male,
man,
and
yeah.
I'm just tired of hearing about my people killing
Each other,
because,
yeah.
because I feel like we're already at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
I have
So it's like.
No, go ahead, not to cut you off.
No,
Go ahead.
we're already at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need any more like negativity or any more drama. We
Yeah.
have enough on our plate as it is. Can't we do something, y'all, to make it better, to just stop the violence? Because I'm at a point where it's like, if you're gonna talk to me about how do we stop the violence, we gotta start. It has to start within our communities. We
Yeah.
gotta start with ourselves before we can go after the police. Because maybe if we come together collectively, then we can say, you know what? Let's just try to have peace amongst each other, and then we can fight the real enemies. But
Okay.
we don't even know how to do that because we're so hell bent on. I'm pissed off. Where's my rifle, my pistol, my 9? I'm ready to get you ready.
So you're saying, I'm gonna ask a two-part question for both of you. So you're saying, or all three of you, we're all here. So you're saying if there were better stipulations for folks to achieve firearms and to prevent somebody, or try to, because it's just a tool.
Yeah.
So to try to better screening processes, do you think that would help? Or do you think something more stable, like in the community, like at home or in your neighborhood, talking to people and talking to your community and saying, because you always have folks, again, that get hot-headed and they may come from broken homes, but do you think something like that in place where as though they're mentoring, they're out, they're preaching, they're
Yeah,
helping the
I
community
prefer that.
is better than having a stipulation
I think-
to try and readjust a tool that someone's going to find a way to use anyway?
I think it should be both. I think
Yeah.
that it should be harder for people to obtain
Okay.
firearms. I also believe that we need to have these conversations in the community to stop the violence because, like you said, some of us do come from broken homes. Some of us feel like violence is the only key. But we need people to speak up for us on our behalf and just go, hey, I can teach you a better way.
Yeah.
I can teach you how to put that anger aside and channel something better within you. So I feel like we have to do both. Let's make it harder for people to obtain, but let's also have these important conversations.
And let's educate.
And let's educate, especially our youth, because like we just said earlier, the media plays a role. Now, I know we all listen to whatever we listen to, but a lot of the music that we hear in mainstream media, it's promoting the violence.
Yes.
And my thing is like I feel like that's a huge part of the problem too, because these rappers, when they sit up here and they're like, I'm gonna pull my so-and-so out and get
Yeah.
so-and-so. Their kids going, their kids live in these nice neighborhoods, these
Yeah.
upscale, suburban neighborhoods. You live in the hood. So at the end of the day, their kids are not really living that
Yeah.
life.
So you're living that fantasy through somebody else's story.
Exactly. That's
You're
what I'm
living a
Basically,
fantasy.
throughout somebody else's lie, because half of these rappers
We-
are like
exactly,
middle
because it's
class,
a lie.
right?
The thing too, it's kind of, well, mostly for black people. It's a double-edged sword using any sort of firearm for the fact that like racists and whatnot probably think like, like pump more guns into the black communities, they'll just kill themselves off for us. And there's also the fact that there are so many laws around felonies that'll make you a criminal, even if you're in the right for defending yourself at a point where you're backed in the corner and have to shoot your way out. And it's like, oh, he was going to kill me and my family. So, well, you still killed him, so you're going to jail. So it's like, it's really not in favor for black people to be killing anyone, really. But still stand strong against oppression and that sort of thing when it comes to firearms.
I can agree with that.
I agree with you.
You damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Exactly.
So that could be, like you said, Brandon, that could be a reason as to why our community still feels the way they do, even though sadly we are still murdering each other. But if they're backed against a corner, that may be what they have to do and the only thing that they know how to do. Now, the robbing for senseless reasons, we're robbing older or whatever it is, in corner stores, it's in our neighborhood, that's ultimately helping us. You rob the same store that you just went to to get, food and french fries and things, but you go and steal from them and then wonder, why things are messed up. It's like, make it make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's just like things like that, it doesn't make sense to me, you know?
It saddens me as a whole because I just hate guns. I hate guns. I hate what they stand for. I understand that under certain circumstances, they are used for protection. But overall, there's more harm than good that comes from guns.
Okay.
And if we can just come up with a solution, and I'm speaking out to these politicians and big brothers and sisters. We have to mentor the youth. We gotta even mentor ourselves in a sense to know that we gotta do better in order to instill that in others. Because it's getting to a point where it's too many people in our community that are dying at the hands of guns, all the way down to kids that are like 7 and 10 years old. That does not make sense. It is completely stupid. We gotta stop. We gotta do better. We have to stop gun violence. And that's really all I can say, because I know we can go on and on and on with this conversation, but the moral of the story is we gotta stop it, y'all. Because we dying left and right. We dying rapidly from guns than we are from diseases and any other thing. And we're dying at these young ages, and it's just not right. So we have to stop, y'all. Let's figure out a way to be better so that we can do better. I'm begging y'all. If you're a little boy or a little girl out here, I don't care if you live in the hood or the suburbs, guns will not and can never solve your problem. Always remember that.